Crypto Kids, I found something great that I wanted to show you, and even though it's Saturday, we're still here. For me, it's 3 a.m., and I was honestly questioning whether if I should make an update or not on a Saturday, because I know a lot of you want to just enjoy the weekend. I promise I'll keep it short, but I really wanted to share this with you, and it's the hot talk of the town. Everybody's wanting to know about precious metals. We did a full precious metals coverage yesterday. Ben Cowan posted this sort of cool meme of everybody wanting to understand what it means that precious metals are going up and up and up. Will it translate into higher Bitcoin and crypto prices? Ultimately, what we care about? Well, I found something that can actually suggest that. It's actually a collection of data. It's a couple of different pieces of data. I think you're going to like it, so stick around. And guys, if you do end up enjoying this video, you don't have to make the decision now. You can make the decision at the very end if you wish. If you can destroy the like button, for me, it would mean the world. And subscribe for daily analysis, because we're here every single day. Every single day, we give you the best analysis and updates over on the Crypto Kid channel. And I don't say it. You guys say it, right? Tremendous, tremendous stuff. So thank you so much. Honestly, it's the honor of my life making these videos for you on a daily basis. We have 64,500 incredible crypto kids. If you want to be a part of the journey, subscribe. We'll see you at 65,000. With that said, let's quickly share some details on the Bitcoin 4-hourly time frame, and I'll go over what exactly is so great. Well, first of all, on the Bitcoin 4-hourly, today is a Saturday, tomorrow is a Sunday, meaning Bitcoin consolidates. Over weekends, ever since the ETFs got involved, Bitcoin pretty much started to do nothing. There is no liquidity, we don't see any price moves, and even if you decide to see a big pump or dump, you close it. What I mean by closing it is something called the CME gap is a very big influencer of Bitcoin. It is the Chicago Mercantile Exchange futures contract that doesn't operate on the weekends. Whenever we see a big move over the weekend, there's a huge gap in the price action, and due to illiquidity in that gap, market makers tend to push prices wherever they are to fill them. And currently we still have one open at $93,000. I'm expecting Bitcoin to close it sooner rather than later. As soon as next week can be the potential time where Bitcoin reaches 93K. So that's the quick update on Bitcoin. But what's so great is that precious metals have been pumping a lot, and we also have a brand new candidate to replace Fed Chair Powell. Powell is leaving mid this year. We know that Powell is an individual who's, I think, done an incredible job. I know it's controversial, but remember, the Fed has a dual mandate to make sure inflation is around 2% and to bring down the risks to unemployment and maximize employment in general. I think the Fed is doing that. When we look at the data, we can see that the inflation, according to Trueflation, is about 1.2%, and the unemployment rate has been dropping in the most recent report. So he's been doing a good job. But the issue is we need to refinance $9.5 trillion of debt. And if they do it at where the rates are currently, it's going to be troublesome. With the EU threatening to retaliate against America by offloading their treasuries, trillions of dollars of treasuries, with rates being where they are, it could be very, very bad for the US. So we need rates to come down. And I agree with the fiscal policy aspect of things. It does make sense. So we have a new Fed chair coming in who will likely be more accepting of Trump's monetary policy agenda, and Rick Ryder seems to be the #1 candidate. Out of nowhere, his probabilities of becoming the new Fed chair has exploded overnight. And if we want to do a little bit of a background check on Rick Ryder, he actually went on one of my favorite channels, Raoul Pal. This was an interview from a year and a half ago, and I really liked actually a bit more than a year and a half. It was a very, very great interview. He seems like a great guy, and he also thinks, we need to find the tweet, there it is, he also thinks that Bitcoin is hard money. So taking things back to precious metals, hard money is things like Bitcoin and silver, where there is not a definite cap with things like silver and gold on how much supply there is, but there is less inflation than you have in fiat terms. So when we look at these traditional forms of hard money, Bitcoin, silver, they've been exploding in price action. Silver has been going over $100. We covered it yesterday. Gold very close to $5,000 per ounce. But Bitcoin is lagging behind because people trade it as a tech stock. Rick Ryder, the potential new Fed chair, has categorized Bitcoin as also a hard money. Altcoin Daily posted this incredible interview breaking BlackRock Chief Investment Officer Rick Ryder surges in odds to be picked by President Trump as the next Fed chair. Ryder is a huge crypto bull, and he says that Bitcoin is a hard asset and it belongs in the ideal portfolio. That's amazing. The Fed chair likes Bitcoin. We know the entire cabinet likes Bitcoin. We know a lot of Republicans that currently have majority in Congress like Bitcoin. So alongside him just liking it, if we get some lower interest rates, and if President Trump is able to introduce the Crypto Clarity Act whilst he still has the Congress, then I think we could be on for a very good 2027. Today, the White House posted, thanks to President Trump, America is the crypto capital of the world. I think this is great. More liquidity, pro Bitcoin regulation, pro crypto regulation. What more can we really ask for? When it comes to the liquidity that is currently locked up in precious metals, we can see that gold has overtaken the US dollar as the largest global reserve asset. The dollar is shrinking in its strength. I quoted a chart from Balaji, one of the great analysts and thinkers of our time. You can see that institutions are reducing dollar exposures at a significant rate. I think what President Trump is doing is good for America, but he is isolating himself. The EU are getting closer to China. China is growing at an extraordinary rate. If you don't believe me, Google the city Shenzhen. You're going to be surprised with the amount of technology there is. Take a look at some of the Chinese cars that are being developed. They're insanely cheap and they're so good looking. China is ahead of the game. And if America keeps isolating themselves, EU will get closer to China. And because that is happening in the background, you can see institutions are reducing the dollar exposure. They're a little bit scared. They don't know what to expect. And if the dollar goes down, well, what goes up? Bitcoin. You trade Bitcoin against the dollar. So as the dollar reduces in value, last week it lost 1.9% of its value. This is the US dollar we're talking about. That's huge. 1.9% reduction in one singular week. People are reducing their exposure. And on top of this, when we look at global liquidity and we look at Bitcoin and gold, in relation to that liquidity, Bitcoin is extremely oversold, whereas gold is extremely overbought. I see liquidity transferring from those precious metals into Bitcoin over the next couple of months. And look, if you want to get rich in Bitcoin and crypto, you have to wait. Michael Saylor put this poll up. I said 10 years. You need to have a macro long-term horizon. I think this year Bitcoin is most likely going to consolidate for a large chunk of it, but I do see a recovery and an explosion in that super cycle theory playing out from the next years to come. So I'm hodling, I'm buying more Bitcoin. In the short term, yes. Can we drop more? Of course we can. Can we prepare for it with our derivatives positionings, which we've been talking about for the past week? Of course we can. But does it mean we lose hope on Bitcoin and we sell our bags? For me, it doesn't. And I hope you enjoyed this great news. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your Saturday, and I'll see you all on the next update video tomorrow. If you want to learn how to derivatives trade Bitcoin and make a living out of it, a passive income living, then watch this video. It is a full tutorial from A to Z. Guys, take care, and as always, bye-bye.